Today, I want to walk you through how to pivot without losing your peace, your profit, your purpose, or your freedom. Hey, family, welcome back. Every serious business leader will face a pivot. Let me tell you about my first major business mistake. And no, it wasn't losing money, it was thinking I was scaling. When I launched my first business, we opened with 3 locations, all within the same proximity. At the time, I thought, this is it. This is how you scale fast. But let me ask you something. Have you ever grown so fast that it actually slowed you down? Because that's what happened to me. 3 locations, 3 leases, 3 overhead structures, 3 teams, 1 exhausted leader. And here's what nobody tells you about expansion: more locations don't automatically mean more profit. Sometimes they mean diluted focus. Today, I want to walk you through how to pivot without losing your peace, your profit, your purpose, or your freedom. 1. Pause before you move. Panic creates reactive decisions. Wisdom creates intentional ones. James 1:5 says, "If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God." He paused and sought God. Before you pivot publicly, get quiet privately. Notice it doesn't say rush. When David faced crisis in 1 Samuel 30, his city burned, his people devastated. Scripture says, but David strengthened himself in the Lord. He didn't immediately reorganize everything. He didn't spiral. 2, separate emotion from assignment. Not every discomfort requires a pivot. Sometimes it requires endurance. Galatians 6:9 says, let us not grow weary in doing good. There's a difference between temporary pressure and structural misalignment. Ask yourself, is this a hard season or is this the wrong structure? Panic confuses the two. Peace distinguishes them. 3, clarify what stays before changing what goes strong. Leaders don't pivot everything. They pivot strategically. Nehemiah rebuilt the wall, but he didn't abandon the mission when opposition came. He adjusted strategy, not assignment. Before you pivot, define: what is your identity? What is non-negotiable? What aligns with purpose? A pivot should protect your foundation, not erase it. 4, check your motive. This is where ego creeps in. Are you pivoting because revenue slowed, comparison crept in? Does another business look more exciting? Or are you pivoting because clarity increased? Proverbs 16:2 says, all a person's ways seem pure to them, but motives are weighed by the Lord. If the pivot is driven by fear, it will create instability. If it's driven by clarity, it will create alignment. 5, protect the 4 pillars. During the pivot, every pivot should be filtered through peace. Does this reduce chaos or increase it? Profit. Does this create sustainability or desperation? Purpose. Does this move us closer to our calling? Freedom. Does this increase leverage or dependency? If the pivot strengthens these pillars, it's strategic. If it weakens them, it's reactive. 6, communicate calmly, not urgently. Your nervous system sets the tone for your company. Joshua stepped into leadership after Moses and God told him, Joshua 1:9, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Courage is calm under pressure. When you pivot, communicate clearly. Don't overshare, panic, show direction. Not doubt your team doesn't need perfection. They need stability. In closing, a pivot is not a sign you built wrong. It's a sign you're evolving. Businesses that never pivot stagnate. Businesses that panic collapse. But leaders who pivot with peace, they mature. Remember, God is not the author of confusion, and he is not intimidated by your transition. And if you're navigating a pivot right now, a restructuring, a new offer, a leadership shift, this is exactly where we help leaders at Fit for Millions. We guide CEOs through transitions rooted in peace, profit, purpose, and freedom. So you don't pivot emotionally, you pivot strategically. If this spoke to you, let me know in the comment about what God is saying to you about growing your business. Share this with a leader or entrepreneur who needs permission to redefine success. God bless you and your business. I'll see you in the next one.